This is Support is Sexy, episode 336, with Michele Liberis-McNabb, founder of the Millionheiress Club. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elaine Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so excited to have you here. It just would not be the same without you. And you know, if you've been listening for a little while, you may know that we started a 90 days to next level challenge. So the whole idea was this countdown to the new year. It was 90 days away. Now it's a little bit less, maybe 70 something days away. Either way, you still have time to get involved. It's a free challenge. The Facebook group is great. I'm so proud of everyone that's in there. They're moving toward their goals, but you can still get caught up. I thought about it and I thought, you know what? 90 days, 70 days, 60 days, however many days left in the new year, you have time. And I want to encourage you to accomplish that goal that's been lingering on your list all year, but to do it with support. So you can go to 90days2nextlevel.com. So that's the number 90 days and then the word TO to nextlevel.com. 90days2nextlevel.com. Sign up and you'll start getting the videos and you'll get access to the Facebook group. And most importantly, you'll get support in achieving your goals for the year. Now, today I'm so excited to welcome someone else who encourages people to achieve their goals and go after their dreams, Michele Liberis-McNabb. And Michele is the founder and CEO of a membership organization called the Millionheiress Club. And she'll tell you more about what exactly the organization is. But what I love is Michele talks about really moving beyond your fears, and especially the fear that comes after God gives you the vision. Have you ever been there? You get the vision or the dream or something you really want to go after, and then the fear starts to come in and all the self-talk starts to come in. So we talk a little bit about that and a lot more. So Michele talks about having the courage to make the leap, the benefits of getting feedback from people outside of friends and family, how to confidently charge for the value you provide, her top 3 tips for creating an engaged community, the importance of building a team that allows you to be you, and why you are entitled to happiness, joy, and peace as part of your inheritance. So I know you're going to enjoy this episode. Tons of great information in here. So without further ado, Michele Liberis-McNabb. So Michele, thank you so much for joining us for an episode of Support is Sexy. I'm excited to chat with you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited as well.
Of course. So our first question, when did you first fall in love with entrepreneurship?
Wow. I honestly think that I've been in love with entrepreneurship since I can remember, only because my parents were entrepreneurs in that aspect. My dad was actually a minister, but if you look at, any type of minister or pastor, they're kind of literally in business for themselves. They don't really work for anyone, if you look at it in that regard. So just seeing how he, went around and preached and, met with different pastors and visited different churches, and how he interacted and met with all these amazing people, it was always something that interested me because I've always loved to connect and meet new people as well. Mm-hmm. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Where did you grow up?
Funny. So at this point, I've grown up a little bit of everywhere. So I was born in Michigan because my mother grew up in Michigan, but my dad is originally from Haiti, and he met my mother in Michigan. And once they had me, we actually moved back to Haiti because my dad had started a church and an orphanage over there. And so I grew up in Haiti, and then Haiti had its moments where there was turmoil and political unrest. So we were kind of back and forth between the States and Haiti, as things were kind of occurring in Haiti. If things were good, then we were back there. And then once things got a little dangerous, we were back here. So I think I've split up my childhood between Haiti and here, to be honest.
Do you still go back often now?
I do. I do. I go back at least once or twice a year.
Nice.
My sister actually moved back and the ministry's still going on over there. I'm actually planning to go back in December. We do our annual Christmas feeding program where we, have fun with the kids. We hand out toys and gifts and cut cake and stuff like that. So it's something I always look forward to each year.
So you're still involved with that work as well that your father sort of set in place.
Yes, and I actually look forward to it.
Oh, that's great. Now, you
Yeah.
mentioned that you said he's a pastor, right?
He's a pastor. Uh-huh.
He's a pastor. So it's interesting that in that way, it sort of led you into or opened your eyes to this idea of ownership and entrepreneurship and that kind of thing. Because sometimes people don't think of pastors in that way. But for you, what was it that you feel resonated with you about seeing him do those things that really made you feel like I could own my own thing one day?
Just seeing how I hate to relate business to the church,
It's
but in
okay.
some yeah, but in some regards, in my opinion, I think that entrepreneurship plays a big role, with that because you have like just like you have clients in a company, you have to have a congregation.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have people that support your ministry and things of that sort. So to watch him grow his support system and build his ministry from the ground up, from having a small church at home, and even the orphanage he started in our home. So I grew up with 25 kids in our home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so everything was at home. He started it. He had big faith, and then from there it grew into, slowly building a school here, and then having an orphanage there, and then buildings came about. So, in that respect, that's how I kind of equated to entrepreneurship because he started from humble beginnings. It was just a vision that he had, and then it grew based on the support that he gathered. You know,
That
so it's been a fun ride.
that's amazing. So it's you and your sister. You have other siblings?
I have a sister, I'm the eldest. I have a sister that's 1 year younger than me, and then I have a brother. And then, I mean, obviously, I still look back and say I had 25 siblings
I was going
because,
to say, what was that like to grow up in that kind of
oh my goodness. You know what? When you're a child, that's like the coolest thing ever.
it's like you have constant playmates.
It's constant playmates. And it was like he had to kind of makeshift the home. So there was a lot of bunk beds because there wasn't that many rooms. It was not that many rooms. So he had bunk beds. The boys had one room. The girls had one room. And then our family had literally one room. We shared a room.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, every day was a new adventure. Every day was a new adventure. Every day a new kid was coming in, so it was a lot of fun. And when I look back at it now as an adult, I'm like, wow, he really believed in that vision because I have 3 kids myself and I just can't see myself having 25 kids in this home and figuring out what to do with them. So, but it was definitely something that has always stayed with me.
So what would you say that you were like as a young person growing up surrounded by so many other children? How did you come of age during that time?
Wow, I think that it really allowed me to find out who I was and, my strengths, my weaknesses, and then just learning that connecting with other people was what life was truly about, even at that young age. And I learned so many new things. I came there as a young child, not speaking any Creole. And I believe my mom said within a month and a half, I was fluent in Creole just because I was with the kids all day long.
Right.
So it's just learning the new culture. And I think how that plays into my adulthood is that I'm comfortable anywhere that I go. I know that I'm going to make a connection. I know I'm going to make a friend. I never feel out of place. And it's because, like I said, I think just growing up in a surrounding with so many personalities and figuring out how to make things work because you're in tight quarters all day long, it's really developed, my personality in that regards.
Did your dad have a school at your home as well? Did he teach all of those children or did you all go out to school?
Yeah, so, like I said, when we first moved there, it was my siblings and I as well. So we only spoke English. So my dad had to find us an English speaking school because it was
Uh,
just too much for us to try to learn the language and do school. So what he did was we went to school, but he brought teachers in so that the kids at the orphanage within the home would have school there. We would they would have church there. So everything happened at the home. So aside from it just being our home, it was our church on Sundays and Wednesdays. It was school during the day. It was a cafeteria all day long. I mean, it was everything that you can think of. It's just like a little mini small campus.
wow, that's amazing. Who would you say were some of your greatest influences during that time?
Wow, I would have to say my parents. I would really have to say my parents, even for my mom, who never visited Haiti before, didn't speak any Creole, moving all the way from Michigan, from a small town, to allow my dad to live out his vision and, and support him. I think the two of them working together to see what they could build together and follow God's word was my biggest inspiration.
What would you say were some of your aspirations at that time? Did you have an idea of when you got older what you wanted to do or be?
Actually, I remember that. I actually wanted to be a brain surgeon.
Oh,
yeah.
Dreaming small, I see.
Yeah, dreaming very small. And that actually came about because we had a book project in elementary school where we had to read about Ben Carson when he did the operation on the conjoined twins. And I just was so fascinated by that book and what he did. And my whole thing was, well, from this point on, I'm going to be a brain surgeon. That's all I could remember saying. And then it changed slowly from brain surgeon to when I got into probably the end of middle school, early part of high school, I realized I was really good with history and politics and things of that sort. And so I started leaning more towards that. So by the time I got off to college, I was in that political science field. So it completely switched.
So what did you end up, where did you go to school, to college?
Okay, so once I graduated high school in Haiti, I actually went off to Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Oh, I won't hold that against you. I went to Hampton.
You went to Hampton?
Yes.
Aww. Well, go
Howard.
Both HUs.
Exactly. What did you studied political science at Howard?
Political science at Howard, uh-huh.
And what did you think then that you were going to do when you got out of school? Did you plan to teach or did you have other ideas?
So my goal at that point was to either become a history professor or to go into like maybe the juvenile justice system. So that was my whole ideology behind that. And again, I think it was more so influenced by my father because, like I said, my father had big dreams, big visions. And later on, when we got to high school, he ended up running for president of Haiti. He obviously did not win, but he was very, very ambitious and determined. I remember him running his campaign trail and all of that. And I think that influenced me as well. That's how I went from brain surgeon to, hey, I want to study political science now. So, I thought I was going to do something with it. And God obviously had different visions for me and different plans. And so I'm not actually involved in the political realm, but I still really enjoy it.
So what did you end up entering into after college? What was your path to the Millionheiress Club?
Okay, so I actually became a pharmaceutical sales representative, and it was a great job, great career. I actually really enjoyed it because I love speaking to people. I'm very comfortable speaking to people and, just sharing my knowledge on whatever I'm doing and things of that sort. So it was a great career path for me, but it did not fulfill me. It just wasn't fulfilling and I couldn't figure out why. Even though I enjoyed it, I was stumbling behind finding my passion and my purpose and staying committed to something that was comfortable and, something that was going to last me. Mm-hmm. So that's where that decision came about, was I need to figure out what my purpose is and then go with that purpose so I can find fulfillment.
So how long did you work in pharmaceutical sales?
So prior to that, I had always been in sales, but right before the Millionaire's Club I was directly in pharmaceutical sales. So I was there for 3 going on 4 years. So it wasn't too long, but long enough to know that I was good at it and still not long, short enough to where I wasn't in a situation where I felt like, well, let me just finish out my 20 years here or whatever the case is, So the biggest push for me, I have 3 boys. My youngest is now 3, but he was born premature while I was working as a pharmaceutical sales representative. And it was the whole idea of him coming early and then, having a NICU stay. And then I kind of ran out of my maternity leave during that time. So I didn't have any time to bond with him because by the time he was released from the hospital, it was time for me to go back to work. And so aside from already not feeling fulfilled, now it's like, okay, this can't be life. It can't be where I'm stuck in 9 to 5 and I had no PTO left. So as a preemie, he had a lot of doctor's appointments and therapies, and I was constantly begging for time off because I had no more PTO. And, they're only understanding for so long because they're a business.
And that can be stressful for you as a mom.
It's so stressful. It is so stressful. And I finally decided then that that's 2 things working against me of needing to leave and do what it is that I need to do and have the freedom to live my life around my passion. And so that's how the Millionaire's Club really came about.
Did you know at that time, I know you were focused on taking care of your son and your other children, but did you know at that time what your passion was? Like you said, your job, for example, wasn't lighting you up, if you will, but did you know what would be that thing? Did you have an idea?
Yeah, it actually goes back to growing up with the kids in the orphanage. It was connecting. I love to be around other people constantly. I love events. I love church. I love anything where there's people. And so my biggest thing was I wanted to find a way to connect with other women and really start living a life that was fulfilling, because I felt that if I was feeling this way, there had to be other women feeling the same way. And so the biggest thing was that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what I wanted to enter into. But I also love connecting people. And so one day I was just praying about it, and just God gave me this vision and said, well, why don't you start an organization that simply connects women where you can motivate one another to find whatever your purpose or your passion is. And again, so when God gives you a vision, the thing after that comes fear. So I was kind of staying away from it. I'm like, yeah, maybe. So I was like, well, maybe what he means is, you try to define.
Trying to negotiate.
Yeah, we try to negotiate. Well, maybe what he means is that I need to find an organization that I can be associated with and find that. So I reached out to so many organizations here in South Florida, and, it just, none of them were a good fit for me because, like I said, I wasn't sure what career path I wanted to take. I wasn't sure what my purpose was. So I wasn't clearly defined to know what organization was going to be a good fit for me. And so after that, I prayed about it again, and the vision was still very clear. No, start your own. Because there's women that are feeling the same way that you're feeling. Start your own. And again, the fear comes in, but I did take the leap of faith. I invested I had a little savings account to the side. I took out $1,500 and I said, okay, I'm going to have this launch party. I'm going to invite 15 random women that I've just met on social media and kind of, connected with just on a social media level, not even like friends and family.
Now, why did you take that? I'm curious, why did you take that route? Is it because, well, I'll let you explain why. Why did you take the route of inviting people outside of friends and family?
I did that because I wanted the feedback to be genuine and sincere.
Smart.
Yeah, I didn't want the feedback to come from people that didn't want to hurt my feelings or just wanted to see me happy. I wanted a genuine feedback. So I selected 15 people that I had some type of connection to, or that I had been following, or we had been corresponding, but I didn't know personally.
Right.
So I invited the 15 women in. We had a small little black cocktail reception, and we ate and, had a few drinks, and it was very nice. And then I went into, okay, ladies, this is the reason why we're here today. This is my vision. This is what I plan to do with this vision. I brought you in because I feel like you ladies, are kind of exactly what I'm looking for to make this organization work. And 14 out of the 15 joined me that day. So clearly God had a purpose for me. He had already put the right people in place for me, and it was the right timing. And I was more motivated than ever because I knew I needed to get out of the 9-to-5 because I needed time with my children really, but really more so with my youngest one. And so from there, that was September 2013.
Wow. 14 out of the 15 women said yes.
14 out of 15 women that day said yes.
Wow. So what was the commitment for them at that time to be a part of the Millionaire's Club?
Yeah. And, again, here you go again, negotiate with God and things of that sort. So in my head, I'm excited because I'm like, wow, I got 14 people out of these 15 people. Then the fear was, okay, well, now you got to tell them how much it costs, Michelle. You've got the commitment, but you didn't tell them. And I started so minimal because I didn't know my value. I really didn't. So I was like, you know what, ladies, it's $99 to join. And this is all that we're going to do. And I had this big list of scheduled events and things of that sort. Didn't really take the time to think everything through. But nonetheless, God was a great provider. He led the way. And, after that membership year, we had more women join. I was able to raise the pricing because I knew the value that the organization was now bringing. And, 2017, now we're entering into year 5 of our membership year.
And was that a monthly fee or was that something to join lifetime?
Yeah. Can you believe it? I didn't know my value. That was $99 for the whole year.
Wow. And listen, I'm not putting you, first of all, thank you for sharing this. And it's so honest. And so many of us go through it. And I go through it myself. First of all, I'll take ownership. And also, even when talking to other clients or people that I work with, sometimes we have to be pushed in whether it's God or someone else who says, you know what, charge more for the value that you're providing. But it's not always easy.
It's not easy. You doubt yourself more than the people that are willing to hand over the check.
Right.
And so I went through that year and I knew that during that time I was coming so much out of pocket for expenses, but it was my fault because I did not put the right value in the monetary amount behind the organization. So as each year grew, I became more confident. God sent me an amazing group of ladies that are now my board members. I've had ladies, my vice president and my director of membership have been with me since 2 months after the organization started. So I feel like they've been there from the beginning. So I have amazing board members that have really, really pushed me and have really taken on this vision as if it's their own. So I know they were God sent. And from there, we've been able to recalculate the value of the brand. We've added, we take an annual trip every year. So one of the things is that we ask for all of our members to have a passport. So aside from just being aspiring women entrepreneurs and being resourceful and supportive, I want them to think outside of the box. So a lot of people confuse the Millionaire's Club with the Millionaire's Club. They always look at it, even though it's spelled differently, they still think millionaires, but it's millionheiress. And the reason behind that is that my vision, the heiress portion, is because I want women to understand that they have an inheritance because they're a child of God. And you are entitled to living the life that is fulfilling, that brings you joy, that brings you peace, that brings you, fulfillment, in other words. And overall, the reason why the million is in front of the heiress part is because I believe that God's vision for me is to bring 1 million heiresses with that mindset globally together with this organization.
So it's not about an amount of money that the group aspires to make or makes. It's about the number of women that you want to impact.
Correct.
I love it.
Correct.
Now, what are the benefits of being a member of the Millionaire's Club?
Okay, well, there's 3 things. And the first one, most importantly, is a genuine sisterhood. That's our biggest thing. So there is an application process to join the organization for the simple fact that we want the right women in the group. So we have an application process. We accept up to 25 applicants per year. We try to make it an intimate setting so that the ladies have time to bond and connect and really get to know one another. The second portion is personal and professional development. We have Dream Builders workshops that we host monthly that are based on different topics that are going to help our women grow out of their comfort zones, help them achieve certain goals that they might have both personally and professionally, and just hold one another accountable. And then our third part is the entrepreneurship. So whether they're aspiring entrepreneurs or in the beginning stages of being small business owners, we have a curriculum around that where we bring experienced business affiliates in that help mentor and lead the ladies towards being successful business women. So that's our ultimate goal, is to lead them towards being successful and long term.
So you have workshops every month and they're always located in South Florida where you are. So most of the ladies are in that area or the surrounding areas.
Yeah, so right now we're in South Florida. We've been getting a lot of inquiries from out of state. So what we've done 2 things to fulfill those inquiries. One is that we've added an iSister membership where there's strictly an online community.
Smart.
Where they can
I love it, Michelle. Yes, I was going to say, when people hear this, you're going to get inquiries from all over the world. Yay. Okay, good. Carry on. Yes, and
that's new for us this year, and it's been exciting. And so there's, we have a little online community where they can, we're on Periscope, so they're still able to connect and be a part of our Dream Builders workshops and things of that nature. The second part is that we're on our Pretty in Pink brunch tour, which is where we selected 6 cities that we've received the most inquiries from in the United States. And we're bringing our brunch tour to these different cities to meet the different women that have inquired and for them to get to meet us. And just to see whether or not our organization would be a good fit there to start that chapter. Because at the end of the day, I still view this as one of my babies. This is like my fourth child.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't leave my kids with any babysitter, and I don't just drop them off for anybody to watch them. I can't just drop my organization off in any city and just expect people to understand my vision and really bring it to life like I do. So like I said, our board members, we travel. We even have really committed, dedicated members here in South Florida that travel with us.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done Fort Lauderdale, our own backyard is where we kicked it off. And then we went up to Orlando. This Sunday, we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Are you?
And,
that's where I am.
yeah. Are you in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to send you the information. Hopefully you're available this Sunday.
Come by and say, hey.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It's been an amazing experience. So that'll be our third stop. And then we have Philadelphia on the list. We have Detroit, Michigan. We have Washington, D.C. And we have Houston, Texas for now.
That's amazing. Now, how many of you are traveling as part of this brunch series? And do you choose different, obviously different restaurants because you're going to different states, but is that what you're going to, different brunch spots that are popular in those areas and neighborhoods?
Yeah, so what we pretty much did was, because the theme is pink, and we're big on pink because our brand colors are pink, it has to be a location that looks good with a bunch of pink women. That's our biggest thing. A bunch of pink women. It has to match. The pictures have to look great. The girls have to feel like it's a girly atmosphere. We're big on that experience and atmosphere. So far, what we've done is we've found that most of the restaurants that we've liked, when we were in Orlando, we found a really great restaurant in the Ritz-Carlton, and they were so accommodating and they were so sweet and the ambiance was perfect. And then from there, our vice president was like, well, let's just keep finding Ritz-Carlton location, restaurants and things of that sort. So our next brunch stop in Atlanta is also in the Ritz-Carlton inside of the AG restaurant. So that's been the theme so far as locations, but we're pretty much open to whatever feels comfortable for us to bring that brunch there.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yeah. And how many of you is it traveling all together? Does it vary to each city?
It does vary. We have 5 board members. Our board members, for the most part, always travel together. And then our sisters located in South Florida, we have, like I said, quite a few dedicated ones that always take the drive. So far, we've been in Florida, so it hasn't been that bad of a drive. Mm-hmm. So Atlanta's kind of our next step, and we still have about 4 or 5 girls that are flying up or driving to Atlanta to meet us there. And then we obviously have our inquiries and guests from Atlanta that are going to be joining us too. So I'm really excited. I love Atlanta. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, me too. I think it's beautiful too. Yeah. I'm from New York, but I'm in Atlanta now. So it's funny how many people, well, I know obviously Atlanta is a big hub, but how many people tell me, I'm coming there. I'll be there next month. So everybody comes here. That's fantastic. Everybody. How many members are currently in the Millionaire's Club?
Okay, so for this year, we have 32 sisters that we accepted, and we have a wait list for next year already. So we technically get about between 100 to 120 inquiries, which is what we got for this year. But like I said, we have an application process and a selection process that we carry out. So for this year, we only took 32.
So why is it important for you to have an application process? Why is that a part of the process for joining as opposed to just open to anyone who wants to pay the membership fees?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. The biggest thing is quality. I want quality women in the organization because the major standpoint of the organization is a genuine sisterhood. So these women have to be able to get to know one another. They have to be open-minded. They have to be kind. They have to be supportive. They have to be committed. So there's a lot of things that we look for to ensure that the membership year is successful, not just for one member, but for all members. So we have to be selective in that process.
Do they have to be in a certain kind of industry or a certain level of their career? For example, could it be someone who's just getting out of college, or is this for the woman who's already well into her career and that kind of thing?
So it could be both. Mm-hmm. The requirements are 25 and older. Mm-hmm. At least 2 years of some type of higher education. It could be any career field, any profession. It could be you're just thinking about starting a business. It could be that you're already in business. But what we look for is commitment. And then we also ask for their personal and professional goals. based on their personal and professional goals, we as an organization, speaking on behalf of the board members, can determine whether or not our organization can assist them. Because we don't want to bring somebody in that we cannot help. So based on their personal and professional goals, if it aligns with our vision and our mission, and we have the capabilities to bring those goals to life with them and hold them accountable, then more than likely, if they're a great fit, that applicant would be selected.
And then the workshops are around a certain curriculum, if you will, for the program for the year.
Exactly. We have everything from business planning to an etiquette luncheon, talking about if you're going to a business meeting or business luncheon, how, proper etiquette and protocol. We have body language expert that comes in and teaches us how to have a more confident body language. We have public speaking. It's a wide variety so that you can see the growth over the course of the year of where the ladies started and where they finish by the time that membership year is over, both personally and professionally.
Now, if I become a member now and then my year is complete, do I continue to be a member, or is it just for a year-long membership?
That's a great question. So what we do is when you come in, you're coming in as a sister, and then there's an objective that every sister has to meet before the end of the year, which includes networking requirements outside of our organization. You have to be open to meeting new people and going out to different networking opportunities and submitting a summary of who you met and how it was. We also have community service commitments where you have to meet a certain number of community service events throughout the year within the community. And then obviously attendance for our social events and our Dream Builders workshops. We have some that are mandatory and some that are open. So once you reach those objectives, then at the end of the year, we have a pinning ceremony, which we just had a luncheon this Saturday that we do every year, where we induct our sisters, and then they become heiress sisters for the following year. So the membership benefits are a little different. They enjoy a little bit more opportunities with the organization. And then they ultimately, after that point, have the opportunity to graduate from heiress sister to a brand ambassador.
And then they're still able to go to the different events and that kind of thing and be a part of it and to support the women who are coming in.
Exactly.
I love it. Now, what would you say is your vision for the Millionaireess Club, thinking long term?
Wow. So my vision long term for the Millionaireess Club is just to continue growing with the right group of women. To be able to impact. We cater directly to women of color. However, we're open to all women. We do it for women of color, particularly, especially in the South Florida area, because we need something that we can belong to, where we feel supported, where we feel like we can relate to someone else. So, just with the direction that society is going in, we need to be able to see more women of color unite and really stand up for one another and support one another and genuinely enjoy one another's company. And so that's my biggest focus for this organization is come into the organization, be open, be comfortable enough to tell us, where are you slacking? What are your weaknesses? How can another sister help you pick those things up to bring them from a weakness to a strength? And then just continue to grow. And like I said, we have a great time. Aside from just the committed Dream Builders workshops, we take a trip every year. We're actually taking our biggest trip to date to Cape Town, South Africa, July 17th through the 24th of next year.
Nice. And then what is the trip? Is it just vacation, or is it a quote unquote working trip as well? Well, I know it's working for you because you're head of the organization. Everyone forgets that. But for everyone else, is it just relaxation time, or do you have a program?
Our trip is strictly relaxation time and bonding.
Nice.
Yeah, because everything else is work and play. This one is strictly play. And we do that because for some women, this is the first time they've ever traveled with other ladies. The first time they've ever had a real girls trip, the first time that they've even maybe just gotten away from home with all the kids and had a moment to themselves. So no specific agenda aside from have a great time with your lady friends, have a great time with your sisters, and experience something new. That's the biggest thing.
Such an inspiration. I love to hear what you've built and how your approach to creating the Millionaireess Club, especially what it means. I had a totally different idea. Of course, I do research on everyone before, but then some things I'm like, no, I want to find out when I talk to them.
Oh,
it's just a better way of finding out. So
yeah.
I just love what you built. It's inspiring, and I can see it. Not that you asked me my vision, but I can see. I totally can see it being an international club of women and
Wow.
chapters all around the world. Absolutely. When you're in
Thank
Cape
you.
Town, in fact, I would encourage to meet with some people there and see if that's a possibility. Because women here in the United States, of course, but all around the world want to be a part of other groups. I believe part of other group of women who are committed to supporting each other. Obviously, I'm all about that, but
Yeah.
committed to supporting each other, and the fact that you've created sort of a framework for women to be able to do that, not just get together, which is fine too, brunch and all those things, but you've created this framework for women to be able to have a journey throughout the year together.
Yes. Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
absolutely. Do you now for a business question? Do you have it trademarked yet? The Millionaire's
I
Club.
That's something we're working on. You see,
Listen,
little by little. I know.
did you
I
read? Did
know.
you apply already?
My vice president is great with all the paperwork stuff. I'm just the visionary and creative
Okay,
one.
long as
I'm just
somebody's
being
on it. It
honest.
doesn't have to be you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I,
long as
I, I
somebody's
just,
on it because it's
as
a
long as somebody's on
fantastic.
it. So now
Yeah.
that you've said it again, that's confirmation that we need to stop slacking and
Yes.
get it done. So,
And you can do it easily through, not to promote them, but you can do it. I've done most of my work like that through LegalZoom. Of course, you can get an attorney and do it, but it's a lot easier than people think. So when you have incredible ideas like this, ladies listening, and certainly for you, Michelle,
yes.
highly suggest just go ahead and do it. Like now that I've said it, maybe some other people have said it. God is telling you, trademark this.
Yes.
I'm
Thank you. So,
telling you.
now I'm on it.
Yes, and once
I
you
am on
apply,
it.
it's you can use the TM you've applied. Not I'm not an attorney. I just pretend to be
Yeah.
one. But you can use the the trademark, and then once you get your papers, it's registered. But you want to make sure that you have it protected. This is your baby, as you said.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, you're
absolutely.
definitely right. And I appreciate that feedback so much.
Absolutely. I love it. So, what would you say are your 3 tips or that you've learned about building and engaging membership community online and, well, really offline? Yours is really more about being in touch with each other. What would you say are your 3 tips for that?
My 3 tips are be open minded to meeting new people. I think that right now, the way society is, we're so closed off from people. Everything annoys us. If they're not just like us, we don't want any parts of them. And we're so accustomed to how we grew up and the culture of the way that we've always experienced it. And sometimes you need to meet somebody that's the opposite of you
Mm-hmm.
so that they can bring out something different in you. Other than that, you're going to travel the same path through all of life, and it's not fun that way. So that's one of my biggest things. My second thing that I would say from this is follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. And I know it sounds so cliche, but after the dream, there is going to be a point of fear. Okay, there's going to be that point of fear. Once you cross that, there will be some obstacles, but the objective is to remain the course. The objective is to remain determined and ambitious because at the end of the day, your vision will come to a reality with hard work and dedication. It always does. It just takes the willingness to do it. And the third thing is that, wow, let's see, I've done 2. What is my third thing? My third thing would be is let the reward be about other people and not just about you.
Mm.
I enjoy when other women come up and say, wow, this has been such an experience for me. Wow, I've learned so much, I've grown so much. And then just from my standpoint, I love to watch the growth of other women. And I believe that that speaks volume for the organization. So even as the founder and president, I carry the title, but I love to feel like I'm just one of them. I like to take the journey with every single one of them. I like for them to know that I don't know all the answers and I haven't done everything and I'm not perfect. So we're always in this journey together. I'm just here as the visionary, and the creative one behind it because God allowed me to be that person. But this journey is one where we're balanced and we're equal.
I love too what you mentioned earlier about, since you mentioned it again, being the visionary and then having people around you who do some of the other things that might be administrative and not from an assistant standpoint, but more so from maybe there's a business strategy person and there's someone else who focuses on the events portion of it. So just can you talk a little bit about the importance of bringing people on your team in whatever way who are good at other things that you're not focused on?
Yes, definitely. That has been a great blessing for me because, like I said, I had to acknowledge that I only have strengths in certain areas and the others are weaknesses. And if this organization is going to run the way that it needs to run, I have to be open to allowing people to come in and share this dream and vision with me and bring their strengths to balance out my weaknesses. So I have a great vice president who allows me to be the Michele that I am, the crazy creative one that shares all of these crazy ideas. And then for her to say, okay, I love them all. Now let's be realistic about how we're going to achieve each one and what steps we're going to take to get there. And then I've got Betsy, who's our director of membership. So sweet, so friendly, so warming. I could literally not be at an event, and because she's there, her personality itself and what she shines through is going to always attract the right people into the organization because she's such a great representation of what the sisterhood is about. And you need that, you know, you need somebody that's a great representation of your vision. And she's definitely that. And our membership ambassador is Miss Antonia Douglas. She's been with us for 5 years. It's her first year actually on the board. And it's been incredible to see her growth. And she is just such a go-getter and so detailed with how she works. And she will keep you in line between surveys and, just drawing in and focusing in on certain projects so that we're detail oriented on it. So she's been a great addition to the organization. And then last, we have our secretary, which is Miss Sylviane. She's been with the organization for 3 years. It's also her first year on the board. And she's been a great addition because she's just such a great point of contact for new sisters or applicants or just inquiries between providing the right information and making sure that everybody's questions are answered and scheduling and keeping us on track and sort. So the 5 of us together just balance each other out. And I think that only comes when you're clear about what your vision is and you allow God to bring the right people in to help you, because you need help. As an entrepreneur, you need help.
That's right. You need support.
Yeah, you need the support.
So how did you find these women who are such a key part of your team and your board? Is it women that you met along the way, or these are women who you knew before you started the organization? How do you build your team?
Yeah, so there's 5 of us, including myself. So out of the 4, I knew one, but we had lost contact. I actually grew up with her in Haiti and, lost contact with her, hadn't seen her since. And then when I moved back from Howard to Florida, I was out and I met this poet. And he was talking and things like that. And he's like, yeah, my wife is from Haiti. I'm like, hey, what's her name? Because, whenever you're from a small country, you think you know everybody. Right. Hey, what's her name? Oh, her name is Betsy Germain. I was like, what? That's my friend. I grew up in Haiti with her. And all of a sudden we became connected. And before you know it, 2 months later into my vision, she's part of the board, and just really believed in what the vision was, even though we were only 14 people. She was one of the 14.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then for the other ones, they were just God sent. They became a part of the organization. They, like I said, Miss Antonia has been with us for 5 years. This is her first year as a board member. Sylviane's been with us for 3 years. So it's through growth and development where they say, you know what, I'm ready to help. I'm ready to assist and, just to help grow this organization to where it needs to be. And then they jump on board as board members. So I've never really found anyone. God's been doing the finding, I think. And it's been working out great. It's been working out really well. And I appreciate them so very much for seeing the vision the way that I see it.
What would you say is something that you wish you knew when you first started out in your business or building the Millionaireess Club?
I would say you cannot take things personally. If you're, as an entrepreneur in general, not just with the Millionaireess Club, you cannot take things personally. Everything in life has a season. And I say that because, things that you think are going to go your way or people that you think are going to be with you through the entire journey, it's not always the case. And you have to be okay with that. And you have to be willing to understand that not everybody is here to be your supporter. Not everybody is here to be your client. Not everybody is here to help you flourish in your dream. But as long as they're there for that season and they do their part, that leaves you with some type of encouragement or kind words or whatever the case is, that might have been their season for you, whether it was just an email or, whether they were with your organization for 1 year and then they didn't come back or whatever the case is. So sometimes as entrepreneurs, we take everything so personally, especially when it comes to other people and their feedback or constructive criticism. But what I've learned is that take it and learn from it. Take it and make your vision better. Take it and make it worthwhile and long term for the organization or business that you have.
And how did you learn that lesson? What was it over a course of time or experiences? What was it that sort of showed you that this was a different approach you needed to take to that?
Well, because as you continue to grow and you move out of your comfort zone, you have to understand that you've got other people that are moving with you, and their comfort zone level is going to be different than yours. You know, your faith might be on 10 and their faith might be on a 6, and there's nothing against them. They're working from where they're at. And like I said, so that's why I say I've learned that not everybody can be at the same level. Not everybody is going to take the same course. Not everybody's going to take the same journey. But what you can do is appreciate the little journey that they did take with you. And so I learned that just from, basically to answer your question, I've learned that based on experience over the last 5 years because, unfortunately, with any organization or any membership, not everybody's going to be there the whole time.
That's what I'd say. Everybody can't come.
People. Yeah, not everybody can come.
Right.
It's not everybody's timing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say then, Michele, that entrepreneurship has taught you about yourself as a woman?
It's taught me that I can do anything that I set my mind to. It's taught me that I'm a lot more fearless than I thought that I was. I thought that fear was going to be my biggest hurdle. And I realized that I'm a lot more fearless than I think. The biggest thing that I've learned is that I trust myself now. I know that if I jump into something that I've thought through, that even if it doesn't go as planned, I'm smart enough and I'm bold enough to fix it if something doesn't work out to originally in its original purpose to become exactly what I envisioned it to be. So the biggest thing is that I've learned to trust myself, whether it's a failure or a success. I'm going to always stay the same course and it's going to work out for my good.
Mm-hmm. So in closing, if you think over your life and career and you had the chance to thank only one person whose support was critical to you personally or professionally, who would that be and what would you say?
I would say it would be my husband. He's been my biggest support system from the time that I just started talking about, I want to start this club with women and we're going to wear pink and we're going to put on bow ties and we're going to travel. And, because guys, that's just a lot of information that is just, too much for them. But he sat, he listened, he encouraged me, he helped me with my launch party, he was pouring glasses of wine, and he's just been such a great support system for me. And I think because of that, that has helped me become who I am, and it's allowed me to achieve what I have achieved because he's always there to watch the kids when I have a call. He's there to, help me bring up boxes or, pick up all my swag bags because I have an event today, and all of those little things add up to my success today, and I appreciate that.
I love it. How long have you been married?
So we've been married for 9 years, but we've been together for 13.
Awesome. So he's been there from very early in the journey.
He's been there from very early in the journey.
Right.
Yes.
So now tell us how we can support you, your website and social media, all that good stuff.
Most definitely. So our website is themillionheiressclub.com, and I'm just going to spell it. It's TheMillionheiressclub.com. And then all of our social media handles are the same. The Millionaire's Club on Instagram, the Millionaire's Club on Facebook. We are working on Twitter. We have a Twitter page, but we need to do better with it. So for now, those are the ones that you can connect with us on. And our email address is themillionairesclub@gmail.com.
Excellent. Michele, thank you so much. It was so great to get to know your journey. And as I mentioned, I'm inspired by what you're creating. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate this opportunity so very much.
Of course. Now, before you go, what's a parting piece of advice from you to our listeners about anything?
Women supporting women has been one of the most influential and powerful journeys that I've taken in this thing called life. And women, we need women. We need other women, to socialize with. We need them for the support. We need them for the shoulder to cry on. We need them for the girls' trips. We need to be connected to other women. You'd be surprised at how your life will change when you connect with the right women.
Amen. Michele, thank you so much. Hold on just a moment.
Sure.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Michele. Great information, great tips. And I really love, again, what she said about vision and surrounding yourself with women who support you. So now, to find out more about Michele and about the Millionaireess Club, be sure to go to supportissexypodcast.com. Go to the search icon at the top and just type in Michele, Michele. So that's one L, Michele at supportissexypodcast.com. All of her information will pop up on her show notes page, links, resources, and ways to get in touch with her and find out more about the Millionaireess Club. Now, before you go, I want to celebrate one of our priceless listeners who left a review on the Support is Sexy podcast on iTunes. I so appreciate this. I appreciate you all for listening, subscribing, downloading, leaving comments, talking on social media with me and the Support is Sexy brand. I really love it, appreciate it, and appreciate you. And today we're celebrating, I believe it's Miss LJF67, MSLJF67. And MSLJF67 says, I listen to Support is Sexy every morning on my commute into work. I always come away with some jewel of wisdom. Thank you so much, MSLJF67. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a jewel, and thank you for listening every morning on your way to work. That is fantastic. Hopefully I can be an inspiration for you, as can all of these wonderful women that we talk to every week. All right. So for you listening, if you have not already, please leave a review. Let me know what you think. I'd love a 5-star review, but any feedback is appreciated. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. As I always say, it would not be the same without you. So until next time, you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.